Hello, Dangerlings. Welcome to Danger Recall, Dangerlings. This is Danger Recall Part 16. We are going to be talking about episode 18. Oh my goodness, what an episode. This is just so good. I've really enjoyed making these. I've got a couple of guests here today. I've got with me Ross Harmston. How you doing, Ross?
Get to the party, Victor.
Yeah, nice. I love that, yeah. And also we have Dan Thompson.
Chill out.
Love it.
See,
Yeah.
bit of sort of thing. How are we doing?
I thought, we'd do a celebrity intro like we did last week. So,
It was good. I don't know why I didn't do it. Maybe we should do a whole episode as Arnold.
yeah. I mean, this show is named after a film that he's in. So,
Yeah. Maybe we should do every episode like Arnold.
Yeah. Or Colin Farrell. But that version's not very good. So,
Let's be honest about it, Colin. It wasn't that great.
no.
Is that an Office quote?
No, that was just me.
That's just
Wow.
that's just Colin's quote.
Pure, unfiltered Colin.
Yeah, for once, not spouting Office or Alan Partridge. Yeah, amazing. Wow.
I've got my coffee this time. I've had the. I drink an Americano if I'm at home, and it's. I've got my coffee machine's one of my favourite things, and I have I don't know if this may be sacrilege, but when I make an Americano, milk in first, because I know how much milk I want in an Americano. Like, I've been making them for a long time, so milk in first, and it's purely because putting it under the machine and seeing the coffee hit the milk and make the little patterns, that feels a little bit special, I think.
Also,
like a little celebration.
I do the same. I put the milk in first because while you're waiting for the kettle to boil and everything, or waiting for the machine to tell you to pour the thing in, the milk can get a little bit more room temperature and not as cold. Because I don't have one of those frother heater things to make the milk warmer. Because then you get a lukewarm coffee, and nobody wants a lukewarm coffee.
Now, I know that things evolve, okay? I know that things change and words can evolve and meanings of words can evolve and that. But traditionally, and I might be wrong about this, coffee connoisseurs out there, but for me, an Americano actually means a tall black coffee.
This is true.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, mine's a white Americano.
Yeah.
It's just American. It's just coffee how Americans would have it is the kind of
That's
the
some
Italian
of it,
idea
yeah.
of it. So it's kind of it's espresso and water.
Yeah.
Basically, rather than just the espresso, because I can make cappuccinos at home if I want, but it's a
All right,
real
don't show
faff
off.
using this. The steam is a real faff. I can't
Yeah.
be bothered to use it, so I'm just like, no, nice espresso, bit of milk, hot water, done.
I used to do a little bit of baristering. Don't want to get that wrong, do you? Not much. I did a little bit. I remember one of my crowning moments. I was at a festival and we had a coffee machine there. So usually, I mean, these days at festivals they're quite good, but this was back in the day when you didn't really get good coffee at festivals. And a woman came up, a quite a well-to-do woman, I'd like to say, and she said, "Now, if you make me a coffee, is it going to be any good?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, it is." And she went, "Is it really? I mean, we're in a field. Is it?" And I went, "Honestly." And I went, "Here, Steve," to my mate Steve. I went, "Here, Steve, ain't my coffees good?" And he went, "Yeah, they're really good." And if you know Steve, that's a really good impression, right? And big up Steve. Steve Pickup, yes, my man. Yeah, and I made her one. I said, "I want you to grade me, bearing in mind that we are in a field and it's in a paper cup or whatever." And she was like, "Yes, I'm going to give you 7.5 out of 10." And I was like, "Great, I'll take that." Amy Winehouse was playing. And this,
Some people, that's the sort of people you get at an Amy Winehouse gig, Colin.
I tell you what, this was before Amy Winehouse was Amy Winehouse. This was like back in her Frank days when, Frank wasn't like a huge album and she just used to play for like middle class people. Like before she got back to Black Amy, before she went global. So there wasn't many people at the gig. It was kind of cool. Yeah. And I was like,
I had to
Amy Winehut back then.
I had to pretend to be a barista and that just reminds, because we watched a sketch that me and Drum did.
Oh yeah.
And I played a barista, and I didn't know anything about this machine that was in front of me, so I had to mime loads of stuff while Drum was doing his like scene. I had to mime loads of stuff, so I was like pretending to clean things. I was like I unhooked that little press thing that you put for the coffee, and then like pretended to like do that, and then like turn some knobs, not anything dirty, knobs on the machine, and yeah, it was quite hard, and the machine looks very confusing. I definitely wouldn't be able to actually be a barista, because I think I'd just be panicky. I'd just be like, oh god, I've got to do 30 coffees, and which one was the one with cinnamon, or someone wants an eggnog latte. Okay, you didn't want bloody, or you want almond milk, you want yak's milk. Okay, oh bloody hell.
How have we not ever said, can I have a yak's milk latte in the podcast?
Oh,
we've never said it.
Time.
I can't believe it. Don't tell Scott, right? Don't tell Scott, because we're going to slip it in the we're going to slip it in an episode before he thinks of it, and then he'll be like, "Oh, well done, guys, well done."
Yeah. Unless he's listened to this episode, and now we're foiled.
Damn, we're found out.
I tell you what. Sorry, Cole.
No, go for it.
I tell you what, to bring us back to where we are now. We're recording at James. I tell you who does make really good coffee. James Lockhart. With his coffee press thing. When we moved the podcast record to James's house, started getting some real good coffees there. And I will say very clearly, Colin makes very good coffee, but never made us coffee while we were around there, so it's not a fair competition.
Colin makes coffees all the time.
I know, but since he got me my McLaren mug, I turn up with my own coffee.
Oh, no. I think Colin trumps James. Wow. in the coffee making. I liked Colin's coffee. Thought it was good.
That's because I get the good coffee.
He gets the good coffee.
When she goes to buy coffee, she buys shit.
So
now that's not a reference to my partner. If you are listening, that was not a reference to you. That was a reference to Pulp Fiction. Anyway, we are talking about episode 18, which is My Way, or the TPK. I love this episode. So much fun. It was released.
Imagine if you just go, Colin, though, in one episode, you just go, you know what? I hate this episode.
Yeah.
Imagine we said that. Oh, we hate this episode.
There are a few episodes that I could take or leave.
Yeah, that's true.
But,
we'll do it once we're well into this. Like, once we've done a whole bunch of them, let's do a thing where we just reveal the one episode that we hate. Because I bet we've all got one.
Yeah.
But let's do it later. Let's keep it positive for now.
Absolutely. Got to keep it positive. Yeah. I mean, we're recording this before Christmas, just to let you know, Dangerlings. So we're all Christmassy still. 18, My Way, or the TPK, 30th of the 9th, 2018. We had Kev doing a bit of music, no copyright music, and big up Ross, not you, Ross, the other Ross.
No.
Ross Bujon.
We've actually hit a weird hit a weird thing now, because Kevin MacLeod does amazing royalty-free music that's being used by everyone, that now on some of these episodes, when I listen back, there's like battle music that I've heard us use in some of the segments that I now know as the theme song from other podcasts. Because like since then, other podcasts have started using that track. It's why we kind of like in the later ones, Colin you make a lot of the music yourself, Cole, for some of them, or find much more. We've got our own audio style, I think, now, which is very different to these early ones. It's very kind of out of the box fantasy music for these sort of early eps, and nowadays I think we've got a much different sort of audio style to the kind of music we have.
I think we talked about it quite early as well. Like, I can't remember who, but someone mentioned, they went, oh, other podcasts, they only use 3 or 4 songs and they just use them over and over again. And I went, yeah, I don't want to do that. I was like, I'd rather it be different for the listener, because if I was listening, I wouldn't necessarily get bored, but I'd be like, oh yeah, and I think I'd notice when things were different. So yeah, as the person who does the production side of things, it was something that I think from a very early stage, it was on my mind to make it different. And I'd never really listened to other TTRPG podcasts either. It just, that was the idea that was in my head as soon as the rest of the club said, yeah, this is what we want to do. I went, okay, in my mind, I formed, like, I'm going to have music, I'm going to have sound effects, I'm going to do all that. So yeah, I'm glad that we change it up all the time. And I think it's good.
It was one of those things that was like, one of those things that felt like extra work early on. I remember there were times when it was frustrating for all of us, when it was like, why are we looking for more tracks? Why can't we not just reuse them? And now you listen back to it and you're like, that's why. Because it sounds good.
And there's been some standout like music bits in the whole series that we've done. Like, I really like in the last episode, even though we just talked about it, the Jethro sort of dramatic music, that was really good. And like all the bits where we do dramatic music in terms of like, you know, sad music or something where there's some connections that are with characters, and you use some good music with those as well. Like it really helps, I think, as well. And also battle music as well. We don't just use fantasy like battle music. We use like synth stuff as well. Like, you know,
I love the synthy episodes.
Yeah,
I love those.
Yeah.
So back to the episode. Because we haven't talked about it yet. So we have the lovely Fulton Battlestone intro. Fulton Battlestone. I don't know who started it. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember. Because I don't know. Was the Fulton Battlestone because I remember
I think it was you, Dan.
Also Scott did the tiny little legs.
That's a lot later.
Oh, is it?
The full Battlestone one, like it was really improvised. It was one person just started doing it into the mic. I think it was either you or Scott, and everyone else joined in. And that take is basically the one that gets used.
Yeah,
it was just a completely. I think there's like a couple of little hiccups in it, but it's basically. Just as it is, and it's something that's come back up. Like there's a reference to that in episode 100. You know, it's one of these things that just keeps coming back and again and again.
A little behind the scenes. Colin sent me on my birthday. Sent me a Fulton Battlestone track of that, and he put in some effects. He put in like a little harmony with like loads of it. So maybe eventually you Dangerlings may be able to hear that.
I basically made it for Ross as a birthday present. I think it's like a 7-part harmony that I kind of really constructed together. And there's loads of little bits in it. I'd like to re-record it with all of us doing one of the voices, because I can hear Drum's voice starting it off going Fulton Battlestone, and then we all kind of raise it as we go along. That would be quite cool. But I put loads of effects on it. It's really like, you know, I used a bunch of plugins on it. Anyway, that's going real deep dive onto what I did for Ross's birthday. Let's not go there.
So good.
Yeah, it was a good intro.
So we talk about the Pulp Fiction soundtrack as well. There's another reference to that. I can't remember what song we sing, but always talking about those soundtracks that are so big. The club is down. I love the beginning of this episode because the club is down. We're all feeling dead. We've got 2 people on one hit point, and here comes another battle. We are down and out, Dangerlings. We are the Avengers after Loki has kicked their asses. We are, we're down and out. We're ready to and then like Iron Man comes back and says, all right, we're the Avengers. That's what we call ourselves. And we all come back. But here we go. So have we got a summary, actually? Has anyone got one?
I can have a run at it. So this is where you first breach the basement that is the Thieves Guild in Olsurian. So you all burst in through separate hatches. You've already burst in on this one. Velda has just been stabbed by Onami. You've met her. I think, did she come into this one? But you fight Onami. Karagor squares off against 2 thugs by himself while Shania goes to help Velda, and manages to defeat both of them. One of them through some incredible treachery. M has a life and death battle with Kemoth upstairs, manages to finish him off, and then comes down and for good measure takes out Onami as well. And then I think we end with I think you eventually meet the big boss, which might be the BBEG, because I still don't know what that means, because the show that is about looking behind the scenes and explaining what stuff means, I was like, I don't understand this term, what does it mean? And you guys were like, tweet us, and no one's tweeted me. So
come on,
the
team.
have let me down on that one.
It's all right.
That's unbelievable.
We've got nothing but love for
but
you.
yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, cool. Thank you for that. So we big up Guernsey. That's one of the first things we do. I just want to bring that up. We pick up Guernsey. Yeah. Something about, I think it's about danger points. We're talking about danger points and how they're not legal tender and stuff. And, and they're only available, you can only use them in Guernsey or something. So, yeah, we pick up Guernsey. Oh, yes. That's good. And then we mention TPK. And I'm like all excited about it because I don't actually really know what it means, I don't think. And then, James turns around to me and says, no, that means total party knockout. And I was like, oh, right, okay, cool. Which starts the TPK reference. And I say tea pouring kettle.
There are some good ones.
There's some good ones coming up. So we head into the episode with M tying up Kemoth. Kara shoots one of the new dudes, Unami, who's Unami, who's the one who shoots. And then we have T people kill. Velda gets stabbed again. Fulton rolls a 7. Oh, that's all I've written here. Because you give loads of smack talk. You're like, yeah, I'm going to fucking kill it. Oh, shit.
Rolled a 7 again.
Yeah.
All the time.
And then Shania runs towards Velda because Velda is down by this point. Heals them. M gets back into the action like he runs downstairs and through the corridor, gets back into it. And then we have total parakeet knock. I believe that was one of Scott. Scott's got loads of these, actually. He says quite a few, doesn't he? And then one of the thugs misses Carragher. The second misses 2. So we've got 2 thugs, as you said, Dan, fighting Carragher. Carragher then slashes the guy with the arrow, and the thug goes down. So 1 arrow, 1 slash. The guy's on the floor. Such a good kill that was. And then
it's amazing, isn't it? Because he's so unconfident when he squares up and immediately is like, this might have been a terrible idea. And it pays off. It's great.
Yeah. And then Fulton, you get 2 natural ones.
Joke. What are the chances of getting 2 natural ones in a row? But I did, and I will continue to. Was this the fumble then? Was this the fumble where I bend my axe?
No.
This is a different. This is not the one that I have for a year.
No, this isn't the one you have for a year. This is winded, so you get winded in this one. You have to sit.
You have to have a little sit down.
Sit down.
Just read. Oh Jesus. Yeah.
It's the look on James's face because James has just gone down and his life is in Fulton's hands at this point. Like Fulton must defend him while Shania revives him, and immediately Fulton just goes, "Oh!" and just has a little sit down on the bed. James was furious.
Yeah.
And then we have terrible personal knowledge.
Nice.
Which is a good one.
That's a nice one. I like that.
And then Philippe misses. Velda misses with a ray of frost. The thug misses. Everyone's just missing. So M gets back into the fight, but he intimidates. The thug starts to panic, but it doesn't really do anything. So again, we're not really doing very well at the moment. We have Thierry Pharmaceutical Kiwi. It's quite a good one. A door opens and then the woman comes in with chemical burn marks, claws like a big dog. And then we have terrifying personal canine, which is really good for that moment.
That's a strong one.
And then Ross, you say Terry Pratchett kickboxes.
Yes, they start getting really good at this point.
Yeah, they're really, really good. I don't know if there's many more, but they are really good at this point.
Oh, there's 2 of my favorite. There's 3 of my favorite ones still to come, I think.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I want to ask you guys when this went in, because there was a lot of, it was mostly to do with what you did with Pegleg Hamilton.
Yeah.
Like whether you left him hanging up or whether you let him go and every time and it comes up again with the thug that Carragher's fighting, when it looks like he's kind of talked him down and the guy might surrender or all these things. How worried were you guys that kind of letting any of these people go would result in loads more thugs just swarming the base? Like they just run and get help and loads more enemies would come? Because that seemed like quite an important thing. Like you guys were like, we cannot let anyone leave this base. We have to kill or capture every single person.
Yeah, I think it probably comes from not knowing how deep this thing was. And that you always have to I think learning, being a player and then playing for so long, you're always like, okay, we can't leave someone who is a bad guy just literally just sitting in a room, because they'll probably just go and fucking get loads more people. So let's tie them up at least, or kill them. I think that comes out as being a player for so many years. I think you just worry that there's going to be more people if they get away. You know what I mean? What did you think, Colin?
I don't know if that really crossed my mind at the time. I was just kind of concentrating on trying not to get M killed.
A noble thing. I think I understood it a lot more having re-listened to the episodes, because at the time I'm just like, these guys are just cowards. There's no, like, this is the entire guild here. Like, if you let any of these guys go, and it's because you'd kind of spent the whole adventure up to this point trying to intimidate everyone you met, and they just had to fight. And I was like, this is the time to do it. This is the time. If you get a good intimidate, they'll just run away. You know. And now listening back to it, I was like, nah, actually, in those early episodes, it does feel like the guild are everywhere, because this stuff is happening all the time. So of course it's going to feel like there might be more of them out there for you.
Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? We just didn't know what was going on, so we were just like, right, we've got to kill everyone. We've got to do it. We have That's Piss Kiera.
That was one of my favourites. I like that one.
Total Primate Kick-Ass.
Nice.
And then Shania goes for the Dog Lady. And then we have Tara Palmer Comlinson. Which is hilarious.
That was my favourite.
Yeah. And then Velda heals everyone but M. He has that healing wand and he heals everyone and then just doesn't heal M. And I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on? And we talk about nightmares. We talk about 2 different nightmares. Now, Nightmare was a show. This is the one I know about, but someone's talking about another nightmare. Dan, can you tell us about that nightmare show that I just mentioned?
Nightmare was a show made by, I want to say the BBC, but it might have been.
I think it was ITV actually.
Was it an ITV one? So it was a kids game show that used very rudimentary computer graphics, and the idea was it was a bit D&D. You went to a castle. You had a team of like 4 kids. One of the kids would have to go into the dungeon, and they would have a helmet put on them where they couldn't see. They'd then go into a room, and we would see on a screen a kind of computer-generated room around them, and they would have to step and move around in it. So it's like VR, except the person in the VR can't see anything. They're not experiencing anything, but everyone outside is seeing it. And so they would go through this fantasy world and meet weird characters and things like that, and they'd have to choose which items and sidestep left and right. And the other team are directing them, basically. They're saying, step forward 1 pace, step right 1 pace, pick up the bread, things like that. And it was famously incredibly difficult. Like, no kids ever made it through. They all got... eventually, I think a couple did, but hardly anyone ever made it through. And it was really, really good. I guess the kind of the closest approximation to it now would be something like Raven, although even that is probably like 10 years old now.
It was brilliant.
It spawned a lot of memes online of the I don't know who's the main guy, like the Dragar, and him reacting and going, ooh, nasty. And loads of people would cut that with comedy videos and stuff, which is funny.
I still turn into him anytime I'm doing an online escape room or anything like that, with a time limit where you have to drop it. I always drop in him like, careful team, time is running out. It's impossible not to.
It was such a great show. I really think that they should bring it back.
Yeah,
like with today's graphics would just be so sick.
Yeah,
some of you can look at loads of clips of it on YouTube, and there are some funny kids in that. Like, they immediately go left, and then the kid just falls off into the pit, and you're like, why did you say left? Literally, like the first fucking move, and they go left.
Oh, that was nasty.
It's so good, because a big part of the premise is like, what are kids really bad at? Knowing left and right. Let's make a game show based entirely around knowing left and right.
Yeah, it was good though. I really loved that show. Fond memories. What was the other nightmare? Because I don't actually know what this is.
I don't know. I've never. Was there like a cartoon or something called Nightmare?
Do we know this, Russ?
Oh, I don't know the other nightmare.
It was Scott saying, we're talking about 2 different nightmares. So Who cares? He's not here. Caragor takes a slash from a sword, but has the conversation with the thug about how they're fighting. This is brilliant. It goes through the rest of the episode where they're like, oh, mate, see, what you got to do is this, which I think is really good. Then we have a reference, I can do this all day. Oh, before that, actually, M takes a swing at Unami and drops her, and Dan gives him the nickname Skulk Slayer, which M kind of carries on a little bit after this. Nice. He kind of goes, my name is MZ, Skulk Slayer, and gives himself a bunch of nicknames. Then my idea was
Emma's taken out every named Skull and almost every named character so far in this adventure.
Yeah, man.
Like both Kemoth and Unami.
I think my intention for M was to just become this thing that has a whole long list of nicknames, you know, and that was going to be one of my things that I did. But, you know...
you would like to know, I've just jumped on IMDb. I found the show that Scott was talking about.
Oh, yeah?
Scott was talking about the show Nightmare, which was a horror movie show in which a host played by Tom Leahy presented clips and movies in the 1960s for 6 months. It aired exclusively in Wichita, Kansas. So,
oh, right, okay.
How did Scott know that is... Did he watch it in the 1960s? Like... Oh, yes, you're talking about...
One day we'll do a whole deep dive on Scott's time in Wichita.
In the 1960s.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So Caragor's conversation with the thug carries on. I can do this all day. I think I mentioned that, which is a reference to your man, Captain America, Steve Rogers. Yeah, brilliant. I can do this all day. Yeah, I know. Dog lady throws something at Shania. A big bomb hits her. Fulton swings and misses the dog lady. Philippe jumps at the lady, fumbles. Philippe attacks Fulton accidentally, grabs a hold of Fulton's leg and starts like chewing on his ankle, giving him acid damage as well, which is brilliant. Becomes Apu, the monkey from Aladdin. Nice. Second Aladdin reference in this episode, is it?
It's not the... It's I don't know if it's the second reference in this episode.
Maybe we were talking about it in the last episode, weren't we? Yeah.
Are you referring to Aladdin, the highest grossing movie of 1992?
It was the last episode, wasn't it? Yeah, of course.
Did we ever discuss what Drum thinks how big Philippe is? Like, is that in the... I think we do talk about that in the actual podcast. We do talk about it at some point,
yeah. He's like a baboon size, isn't he?
Yeah, but he was imagining him to be like... really small, wasn't he? I think.
Yeah.
It changes based on what Drummond wants to do with him, because like in this, he's definitely referred to him as if he's like a little monkey that sits on his shoulder, kind of thing. And then later on in like Godsmith Heresy, he's like, "Oh, Philippe picks the guy up," and we're like, "What?" And then we have a look at it, and it's like, "Oh my god, Philippe's enormous."
Yeah,
man. So, Velda finally heals M. Thanks, Velda. M switches to a bow, fires, and Mrs. Caragor in his battle of misses again. The wolf lady swipes Mrs. Caragor and has a chat. Mrs. Swipes at Philippe. Mrs. Fulton. Fulton smacks her back. Misses. Shania misses. Velda misses. The thug misses Caragor and has a chat about tennis. Says, I've got a bit of tennis elbow. M then misses again.
Really? Jeez.
Caragor then says, hey, do you want to just go for a pint to this guy? Right? Makes what role does he make?
I think he made a diplomacy check.
And he wins. And the guy goes, yeah, all right. So he steps back. And then Caragor, cold blood, just stabs him in the chest.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
My notes here just say, dick move.
Chaotic evil.
Really funny moment, but dick move, man. Like,
so it's redeemed by the fact that he, to this day, has never admitted it to the rest of the Danger Club.
Yeah.
Because he comes back and he doesn't tell them.
Yeah. It's really dark as well, isn't it? Because he drops him and he's like, come on, get up. It's like, God... really dark, man.
God.
And then someone sings Cold as Ice.
Yes.
Cold as Ice, which is a song by Foreigner from their debut album. It's a good song, isn't it?
Yeah.
Later sampled by MOP.
Definitely sampled by MOP as well. That was good. Do you remember the ice bucket challenge?
I do remember the ice bucket challenge. Yeah, that ran for a really short amount of time.
Short amount of time. Nobody can remember the charity. Can you remember the charity?
It was for ALS, wasn't it?
ALS, that's correct, yeah. So for my ice bucket challenge, it might be out there somewhere. Maybe we'll share it on the Discord or something. I basically got in the shower and I had a bucket of ice and water and I played Cold as Ice by MOP as I chucked it over my head.
Nice.
Yeah, wearing shades as well, wearing mirrored shades. I thought, I'll just do something slightly different than just put ice over myself. So yeah, we'll share that with you. Caragor as the guy is dying, I've written in my notes, Caragor mansplains to him as he dies. Caragor mansplains to the I can't even say it. Caragor mansplains to the thug as he dies. He's like, look, see, that's how you do it. You got to stab him like that. And it's like, oh my God, so dark.
God.
The dog lady throws another
technically, can Caragor mansplain? Because he's only half man. He's half orc.
I mean, I think it's more of a male thing, isn't it? It's a male trait. Not to get gender specific, but it is very much I think everyone can mansplain. Yeah. But it's definitely like a white British male thing or a white American male thing, isn't it, really?
It is. I mean, without speaking for Scott, of course, I would hazard a guess that gender is a spectrum for Caragor as well.
Yeah. I mean, it is for everyone, and as soon as the white cisgender British and American males realise this, we'll all be in a better world. Until then,
and then Caragor will kill you.
Caragor will kill you. Mansplain to you. This episode is a great ending because the dog lady throws another vial. And that's the end.
Yeah.
We're all standing there beating up. We're missing her. No one's hitting her. We're really having trouble hitting this woman, this dog lady. And then all of a sudden, a vial is just flying through the air, and it goes black.
It was like, when like in Star Wars or any kind of dogfight movie where you've got the little ship like hovering around in the targeting thing, just trying to get the thing, and eventually it suddenly hits and like flashes red, and that's the target lock. That was what this was like, because I was like, this bomb does loads of damage and it hits a whole area, and all I need is a few of them together. That's all we got to. And so she's like backing up into the corridor, just waiting while you guys are just bouncing around. And on that round, 4 of you just move into one little cluster together, and it's just like target lock, and then straight away the bomb goes off.
Oh my God,
lovely.
I love the idea of that scene that we're all frantically going, we can't hit her, we can't do it, we're not doing anything. And then all of a sudden you just see this flying through the air, this bomb coming towards us, and then we're all looking up thinking we're going to die, and the screen goes black, and that's the end of the episode. Like, if you're watching it, you'll be like, oh my God, what's going to happen?
The music, so Ave Maria, starts playing as it sails through the air.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We're all looking at each other as if to go, this is it, guys. Yeah.
It was so, and some of you, even with the wanding, like, some of you were on low enough hit points that bomb could have, on a good die roll, that bomb can drop you. So there's so much to play, and bombs are so easy to hit with. Although you wouldn't know it from Beelzebub in our later episodes, but they theoretically are very easy to hit with. Imagine
Velda hadn't have healed them in that last round.
Yeah.
That's where you could have popped your clogs.
Story would have been ended there, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it would have been Velda's fault instead of Fulton's fault.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh.
Okay, all right.
Love it.
That was episode 18 we talked about. This was Danger Recall, part 16. I don't know if we're ever going to talk about 2 episodes again, but we're in this now. So thank you so much for joining us. I've been Colin, your host for Danger Recall. With me, my guests, Ross Harmston.
Get out of here! Go! Get to the chopper!
You went a bit, what's his name? Christopher Walken then, didn't you? Get out of here. And Daniel Thompson.
I don't remember any of the names from True Lies. I can't remember. I wanted to go for a True Lies. Oh.
Yeah, that would have been good.
What does he say just before he fires him?
Curtis, stop doing your sexy dancing. What's him when he's on the plane?
What does he do? He fires him on the missile, when he's stuck on the missile. Doesn't he go, you're fired or something?
I bet he says you're fired. Yeah. That would be.
Yeah. Anyway, we won't watch True Lies. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Get us on the Discord, Facebook,
Get
Twitter,
out.
all of that. Get out. See us on the Twitter. Bye. Yeah.